Well, I'm not really trying to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but the truth of the matter is that I have a rather red nose. Doesn't seem to show up a lot here in the camera. They burned a pre-cancerous thing out of my nose, Dr. Patrick did. Hurt like the devil. I was proud of myself for being able to hold steady and still while he, I guess it's more freezing than burning. Got the dead young thing out of there, I guess. Seems rather slow to heal. I've been a little self-conscious about going around with a red nose, but considering the option, I sure am glad that Dr. Pappy saw the need and did the deed. Jim Wambacher, superintendent at the Gadsden School District. My buddy when I was at Somerton, and he was there at Gadsden. We used to go to meetings together and so on. The most ornery, plain-spoken, tell it the way it is, no holds barred man I ever knew as a teacher, principal, or superintendent, or coach. One thing about it, you knew where you stood and you knew what was going on. You might be a little shocked at the bluntness and lack of confidentiality, but by golly, Jim Wambacher was one nice guy to work for. One time I had a situation where I was on bus duty and two boys were fighting. I said, hey, stop that. And was moving right towards him. Well, the one boy stopped and the other boy proceeded to hang a real haymaker on him after the kid had stopped and put his dukes down. I was not happy. I moved towards the other boy and he proceeded to take a punch at me. Well, I knew better than to hit a student, but he didn't know I wasn't going to hit him. I pulled my punches right close to his face and drove him right back against a wall. And then he tried to butt his head on me, so I put a headlock on him. I turned him loose. He ran to the office. Didn't get on his bus at all. So I watched the buses leave and went on over to the office. And as I came in, Mr. Wambacher was listening to the young man's story that I had assaulted him, beat him up. And I said, hey, come on. You're a smarter and nicer kid than that. Tell the truth, what happened? Well, he said, you did. You put a headlock on me. I said, yes, I certainly did. You were fighting. I told you to stop. You didn't stop. And when I moved between you, you started fighting me. He said, yeah, it wasn't any of your business. Well, Mr. Wambacher said, get out of here before I give you a few swats that you know that I think you were totally in the wrong, not Mr. Riggs. What kind of guy he was. On the other hand, there was a night when I was coaching softball, and kids taking turns at batting, the rest of them fielding the results. I don't know what in the world prompted this one kid to walk in. He was probably his turn to come in all right and be on deck to hit, but he didn't pay attention to where he was walking, and my gosh, he got bobbed right across the forehead by a pretty hefty swing, and down he went. Scared the liver out of me. Sent one of the trusted teammates that would understand what I was saying to him, get over to the office, see if Mr. Wambacher and the secretaries have left, and tell him we probably need an ambulance. Boy, he came back, he said that everybody's gone. The office was locked. Well, in the meantime, the boy that was hit came around, and I can't remember if I took him home or if I called the parents. But at any rate, I indicated that if necessary at the hospital emergency room, call me. They didn't even take him in. I guess, you know, he had a heck of a headache. I'm sure he did. I mean, he was cold cocked. I was afraid he was killed. He got hit across the forehead by a junior high boy taking a good swing with a bat. Things aren't too promising. But again, Jim Wambacher never got alarmed over that. He did say, you know, we probably ought to provide you with the key to the office so that if you need a phone, you can get to a phone. Good idea. Never needed it again. But that particular night, I sure would have liked to have had it. But like I said, there's no particular effort here to be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's kind of embarrassing to go around with a big red spot on your nose. But if it saves me from having a cancer on my nose and have happened to me what happened to Mr. Wambacher, which I haven't said, I'll just tell you. He apparently waited too long, and he ended up for a while with about from where my glasses come on down, no nose, and then they rebuilt him a nose. Wasn't as handsome as he was, but at least it wasn't like it was when the end of his nose wasn't there. Jim was a great man to work for, good to kids, was the bluntest man I've ever known, and had no discretion at all about what he said and where he said it. He ran a good school system. He's a good man to work for, as well as a good buddy when he was a fellow superintendent. I'll probably be Red-Nosed Reindeer here for a few more videos. Goodbye for this time. God bless.